Good afternoon to all of you, or good morning to all of you. Welcome to this seminar, our online seminar, which is called Accounting and Action. All right. But before that, no, I would like to introduce myself. So I am John Michael Angelo Z. Lopo. Just call me J-Man. Okay? I am a CPA, RCA Australia, and an MBA. So I took up BS Accountancy at the Ateneo Dinaga University, year 2005. I am also have an MBA with Ateneo de Manila University, 2015. I also took up Executive Master in Business Administration at the Regis University, 2015. And I am also part of the STR MLP of the AIM year 2020. So that's my educational background. No? I am also from corporate. No, I am a manager also and part-time academic in various schools no, in the Philippines. In terms of the accounting and actions, no, what we'll be discussing is we have part one, we have part two, and we have part three. So part one is basically I will discuss about the history of accounting. Also, I will explain the Florentine approach and the Venetian approach of reporting. Why? Because it is the history of ledger and journal, or journal entries at the same time the ledger or the T accounts. Also, I will discuss about internalization of market and reporting, and also the benefits of the global accounting standards. And number five and number six is basically variations, harmonizations of accounting standards. So basically, the part one is the history of accounting, right? And the standards in terms of the global accounting or global accounting standards, no? Okay. Part two is basically the accounting process. Who are the intended users? Now, very important also that we know who are the intended users of information. What do you mean or the differences between accounting, bookkeeping, and auditing? And also discuss about the accounting profession, okay? And the ethics. Now, very important also that we will or we should discuss ethics now in accounting. And number 11, what are the assumptions in accounting or the GAAP, no? The accounting or the accepted accounting principles, right? So part two is merely the nature and purpose of accounting, the definition of accounting, no? And the users of it. Part three is I will discuss now maybe a little bit of the basic accounting equations, no? Number 12 is the definitions of assets, liabilities, and owner's equity, and also or as well as the revenue and expenses. Number 13, I will give you simple adding or subtracting no, in terms of the transaction analysis. But we will not discuss merely the journal entries or the ledger. So we will discuss that in terms of the next seminar, which is accounting for non-accountants. Okay. And also, number 14 is I will also discuss now the basic about the financial statements. What are the 4 or 5 financial statements? All right, sige. Let's begin. Part 1 is more on the history of accounting. All right. So when you say history or accounting is basically the language of business. Why is it that it is a language of business? Dati pa daw, it is an old civilization. Why? Because without accounting, you cannot monitor performance, you cannot monitor condition and cash flow. At the same time, the bottom line no, of the business. That's why accounting is very important no, when you have your business or to monitor all, again, financial performance, financial condition, financial position, cash flow of the company. All right. accounting daw, it evolved, no, in response to economic and social needs. Yes, no? You can monitor all your accounting, you can monitor all your budget, di ba? Because you are using accounting in your daily life, right? And in terms of accounting, ang sabi nila, it started with the simple recording of repetitive exchanges. That's why later, I will just discuss you the simple recording, no, of repetitive exchanges. No, in our part 3 later is merely adding or subtracting transactions. No, I will not discuss now the basic journal entries. So later, in the following seminar, right? When you say accounting, yes, it is money. Yeah, yes, because when you record transaction, it involves money, right? Also banking, yes, you have banking, you have money, you have transactions in terms of your accounting. And also it involves credit. Yes. So because you have your account receivable and it will be converted into cash. Okay. When you say history of accounting, no, it sabi nila around before Christ 3600 BC, it started with the basic record keeping, no? In Mesopotamia, in China, in India, or Central and South America. So it is called clay tablet of Mesopotamia, right? Also during the time of Christ, no, disciples of Christ, I think si Matthew, no, is a tax collector, and he also worked with accounting. No? Sabi niya, after a long time, the Lord of those servant came to settle accounts with them. That's why si Matthew is also, for me, accountant also. He is accountant, no, during the time of Christ. Okay? And also in Muslim, no, they use also accounting in terms of simple accounting for trade and credit arrangements. So Quran, di ba? So yon. So even the time of Christ, even the before Christ or after Christ, there's now accounting, right? Also, when you say accounting, you have also involvement of double entry system. What do you mean of double entry system? So very important that the double entry system is that your debit should equal or should always equal to your credit. That's why the double entry system is also called what? The principles of balance or the principles of bookkeeping. Right? So the double entry system, it started with the mercantile books, no, of Previs, Freris Bonis, no, of Montauban, dated 1339. So siya yung nag-start ng double entry system. Also, the evolution of double entry system was started, no, during the Italian influence, no, during 13th to 15th century. And also because of that, no, in Genoa, they started the ledger called the Commune of Genoa, no, and started or written during 1340. That's why it is called now the perfect double entry system. I will discuss this again when we are now in accounting for non-accountants, okay? Because here we will be discussed about what do you mean of the double entry system. All right. That's why now sometimes now when you do manual entry, you can do ledger or what you call the T accounts. Why T accounts? Because it's letter T. Okay? Later, I will discuss about the T accounts, no, or under the system of ledger. Okay? Involvement also of double entry system. O, ito na yun, di ba? Wherein debit should equal to your credit. That's what you call double entry system. The principles of balance and the principles of bookkeeping. Okay? Also, it is called the manuscript of the partnership and the association. So si Florentine method, no, as what we discussed in the part 1, wherein you have Florentine method and Venetian method. So when you say Florentine method, he started the journal entries with a double entry bookkeeping. Sir, what do you mean of journal entries? So meaning you just debit and you should credit the transactions. Okay? So debit and credit is what you call the journal entries of recording. Okay? So that's why the double entry system is the dual aspect of the debit and credit. Okay? So the keyword here is debitum and creditum. Okay? So from the Greek word debitum and creditum, so you have debit and credit. Now, as you notice, when you say accounting, always you come up with your mind, which is the debit and your credit, correct? Yes. All right. Again, double entry system is also known as the basic principles of bookkeeping or the principles of balance. Why? Again, your debit should always be equal to your credit. Kaya siya balance. Okay? Kaya siya principles of bookkeeping. All right. So again, Florentine approach, you have your journal entry. So sino nag-start ng Florentine approach? Si Amartino Manocci, no? So he invented the double entry bookkeeping. Okay? So you have journal entries. So again, why is it that it is a double entry bookkeeping or the principles of balance or the double entry system? The answer is this, no? Total debit of the transaction should equal to your credit always. All right? Always, okay? Also, in terms of Venetian approach or in terms of ledger posting, in 1494, Luca Pacioli wrote the first book containing the double entry bookkeeping or also known as Summa di Arithmetica. So, ano ginawa niya? He record memorandum book, he record journal book, he record the ledger book. Okay? That's why Pacioli, no, describe the uses of these three books as memorandum book, the debit and credit of the journal, and the ledger. That's why Luca Pacioli is the father of modern accounting. Okay? Luca Pacioli is the father of modern accounting because of the Summa di Arithmetica. Okay? I remember during our board exam, no, natanong to, who is the father of modern accounting? The answer is Luca Pacioli. Alright. Trivia lang ha, trivia. Okay. Subsequent events, because of the history of accounting, in the 1700s, no, you have now French Revolution. They use accounting in government and finance, in laws, in customs, and business. Okay? Also, they use accounting in terms of industrial revolution, no? The mass production, importance of the fixed assets. No? Fixed assets also very important in terms of manufacturing. Why? In a manufacturing company, majority of them or majority of the assets composed of fixed assets. So in the Philippines, it is called property, plant, and equipment. All right. In the 1900s, no, you have now the global industrial economy. So nandito na yung standards, the harmonization of accounting standards, the generally accepted accounting principles. Why? Because without standards, there's no uh, policies and procedures on what to do in terms of accounting. Right? All right. And also, notable accounting practices during this time is the merger, the acquisition and growth, the internal and external reporting. Okay? Yan. Next is ngayon, no? 2000. As you all know, the development of online, the development of computer-assisted accounting practice. Why? Now, you have your SAP, you have now your QuickBooks, you have now your GL system, you have now your Pitch Tree, di ba? You have now your zero accounting. Yan. So basically, ngayon mas madali na, no? As long as you know how to journalize, automatic, you have now your financial statement. But of course, very important also that you know how to manually record the transactions. All right? That's why we have now here in terms of the seminar. Okay? Also, you have this harmonization of international accounting and reporting standards no, among the countries. In the Philippines, we have two reporting standards. It is called the Philippine Accounting Standards or the Philippine Financial Reporting Standards, PAS, and Financial Reporting, sorry, Philippine Financial Reporting Standards or the PFRS. All right. So I'm done with the part one of this seminar, which is the history of accounting. Next is all about the part two, which is the accounting profession, the accounting process, at the same time, the overall uh, nature and purpose of accounting, as well as the accounting professions and ethics. All right, see you in part two. Bye bye.